Hey, and I just realised that now that we're up to WV's part, I've almost finished Act 2, which is pretty cool actually. I didn't really think I'd get this far, but I just like doing this so much, it really doesn't faze me at all. Okay, let's just get right into it then. WV, lead your men to victory. Checkmate. Oh, he wasted a lot of time playing chess there. You waste more than 4 hours on this tomfoolery. WV, mourn the loss of Citizen Tab. Your caffeinated jittery must have agitated all the little bubbles curiously hidden in the liquid, creating too much pressure in the can. You speculate this is why it exploded as you nervously eye the timer. You were starting to wonder what will happen when it reaches 0. Maybe it will be best not to be near it when this happens. Minutes in the future. Though perhaps not as few as implied by circumstance, a peregrine mendicant trundles precious cargo beneath the gleam of the celestially ominous. PM. WV, go outside and get some sun. You say a bittersweet goodbye to your beloved city. It is time to move on to greener pastures. By which, of course, you mean an arid, sandy wasteland upon which nothing green has grown in years. The door shuts behind you. A panel on the door becomes illuminated. As you ponder over the marks on the panel, you hear another mechanical sound overhead. The LCD panel appears to have a touchscreen interface. WV, curiously prod the funny-looking spirograph. It appears the funny-looking spirograph room is locked. The floor rotates a full 360 degrees beneath you, while the surrounding wall seems to stay put. Wait, if it turned a full 360 degrees, wouldn't he just end up at the same room he was just in? WV, select a triangular fractal. The triangular fractal room does not appear to be locked. The floor turns 120 degrees and the door opens. You go through the door to find another room. It's the same size as the other one you just wasted all that time in, while a clock was ticking down to something which may or may not be your doom. Maybe there is something in here that will help you escape. Against the wall there is another perplexing contraption. Against the opposite wall is some sort of control panel which catches your eye. It has 2 live screens, but only one appears to be active. There are fields for numbers which appear to be modifiable with the dials to the right. Some numbers are already supplied by default, perhaps entered by the previous user. There are a few buttons below, the largest one bearing the symbol marking this room. Also, it looks like there is a meter stick propped up there for some reason. WV, attach your trusty knife to the meter stick. You immediately crafted a measuring spear, through possibly the most advanced form of alchemy employed thus far. This is obviously the most important thing to do first. Obviously. Or it would obviously be the most important thing to do if you had remembered to bring your trusty knife. Oh, WV. You feel so insecure without your trusty knife, it makes you want to slit your wrists, or at the very least, flog your carapace with some sort of measuring apparatus. WV, look at the other wall. Poke prod. You examine the perplexing contraption across the room. You of course have no idea what it could possibly do. You adopt the only obvious course of action, which is to poke a prod it with your handy ruler. You are quite sure this is what science is all about. WV, press the triangle pattern. You go back to the control panel, which probably obviously controls that gizmo, and you push a big blue button, which is obviously probably the most obvious thing to push. Wow. Obviously. You Appearifier pumpkin. WV, examine pumpkin. It seems this mysterious gourd was transported, purified, from a specific time and location somewhere on this planet you're on. You wonder if the machine, Appearifier, will take any object that exists, whatever time and location you supply. There is a symbol carved on the pumpkin. You don't know what it means, and you doubt it will ever prove to be relevant in any way. WV, devour pumpkin. Oh, that is one huge giant arm poking out there. Holy crap. Nibble, nibble. Okay, you consider dining on the ripe flesh of the plump vegetable, but your curiosity about the purifier gets the better of you. You try to sneak a nibble of the pumpkin nonetheless. WV, inspect green buttons. You first examine the attractive green buttons. The icon for the one on the left is that house shape you've seen plenty of times before. The right one, on closer inspection, appears to be the map for this underground facility with an X marking its centre. Huh. WV, press green button on right. You pushed a button. All of the numbers change. Perhaps these are the coordinates for the location of the centre of this facility, along with the local date and time. If this is the case, it will make a useful reference point for your current bearings. WV, fiddle with the dials. One way to find out would be to attempt to purify something from this facility. It should be easy to zero in on a location relative to the centre because you have an uncanny knack for tracking precise distances you have already traversed in whatever units you choose. Your handy ruler gives you a good clue as to the basic unit of human measurement. You will go with that. WV, purify your trusty knife. You notice your coordinates very slightly and bump the elevation by 0.5 human measurement units. You make sure to keep the time approximately what it was to begin with. You purify your trusty knife. WV, Appearify Cantown. You notice the numbers a bit more and Appearify a bunch of cans. This is so much more efficient than walking back to the other room to get them. You would believe that time is a premium after all. WV, de-appearify the pumpkin. Does this machine look like a de-appearifier to you? Honestly, the idea that an appearifier could both appearify and de-appearify things is so laughably ridiculous, you would wish someone would de-appearify your brain and re-appearify it with a brain that is more smart and less dumb. WV, use trusty knife to carve spook schema in pumpkin. It's already on there. What the hell are you talking about? That idea makes no sense at all and is basically meaningless. Try using that mushy stuff in your gourd next time. Instead, you just carve off the top, exposing a decadent cache of gorgeous seed-laden ambrosia. Needless to say, you consume all of it rather quickly, but it turns out to be too gross for us to watch. WV, move spygraph switch. You cannot move it. It has a spirograph-shaped indentation and possibly will require a special kind of key to turn it. WV, Appearifier Firefly out of amber. You released your blinky new friend. You will give her a name when something suitably whimsical occurs to you. WV, adjust time dial to Appearify rotten pumpkin. The past. You and Serenity. You named the Firefly Serenity. God, I love that. It's so funny. Consider new ways to waste more time with the Appearifier. You are assuming she is a girl firefly, even though you are not really sure that fireflies can even be girls. They can. You target the extremely tasty rotten pumpkin that was sitting in the other room hours ago. Paradoxify. It seems the Appearifier can only purify something if it will create a time paradox. A gelatinous ghost pumpkin appearifies and quickly dissolves into a pile of unappetizing sludge. WV, it's green. I doubt you'd think it's unappetizing. WV, Appearify the grate over the entrance to the facility. Serenity blinks a message of urgency. You nearly forgot that while trapped in amber she was witness to all your tomfoolery and dilly-dallying in the other room and knows the timer is about to expire. It is time to get this show on the road and escape. You reset the coordinates with the right green button again, and this time only adjust the elevation by approximately 10 human measurements. WV, hasten to exit post-haste. Oh my god. Oh yeah. This is really necessary. This is incredibly silly. Did I just say oh snap? Psyche. Why does that say psyche? I never got it. That says psyche. Isn't it supposed to say psych? Psych does not have the E on the end. Oh wait. Unpsych. You attempt the rare and highly dangerous 5 times cliffhanger combo and fail. We're doing it, man. We are making this happen. And I'm going to start tomorrow off with Ascend, which, by the way, I absolutely love to itty bitty pieces. It is Ascend that got me loving Homestuck. Ascend still remains one of my favourite things in this thing ever, but I've got less than a minute and I have no idea how long it takes. So I'm going to leave it here and start off with WV Ascend tomorrow. And then Act 2 is practically finished. Oh my god.